It's official. GPT-5 has been released. I'm going to be showing you how to access it today. If you don't currently have it inside ChatGPT, no problem. I'll show you some other ways to access it. And this is the biggest release of the year when it comes to AI. So you can see on OpenAI's official website here, they've said introducing GPT-5, our smartest, fastest, most useful model yet, with built-in thinking that puts expert level intelligence in everyone's hands. One of the interesting things about this is Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, ChatGPT, says that this is basically like a SaaS on demand AI model, and also you don't need to switch between different models. It'll just figure out which one is the best. So you can see here they've said we're introducing GPT-5, our best AI system yet. GPT-5 is a significant leap in intelligence. This is better than all of our previous models, featuring state-of-the-art performance across coding, maths, writing, health, visual perception, and more. All right, and it is a unified model. Now, what that means is essentially, if you're using ChatGPT, you can switch between these different models, like thinking, or you've got quick code analysis, reasoning models, etc., advanced reasoning. It's all a little bit messy. Whereas inside GPT-5, you'll be able to access this in one single unified model, and it'll just pick out which one is the best one for you. All right. Now, if we actually have a look at this as well, we have access to GPT-5 inside OpenRouter. So you can see there are many different models. So you've got, for example, GPT-5 Nano, GPT-5 Mini, OpenAI GPT-5, and then GPT-5 Chat as well. You can also start coding with it inside Playground AI. So you can go to the chat here, start using GPT-5 directly here, and you can code with the API key as well directly. Now, if you want all the notes from today, feel free to get it inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description. Just go to the SP section, and all the notes from today will be inside there, along with loads of other stuff, including daily live coaching and all my best courses. GPT-5 not only outperforms other previous models and benchmarks and answers questions more quickly, but more importantly, it's more useful for real-world queries. All right, so it significantly reduces hallucinations, which is a great move in the right direction. Interestingly, they talk a lot about health here. When I'm looking through the page, writing, coding, that's pretty standard. Health is a new sort of description of the model that I've not really seen before. So they've obviously made some advancements. It's going to be interesting to see how that's used for health and that sort of thing in the future. The other interesting thing here is it's good at front-end generation, right? So for example, if we have a look at what people are generating with it, people are like one-shotting games. It's pretty crazy. If we have a look at this tweet from Aline, he said, what's truly impressive about GPT-5 one shot in this game is in the graphics, is the flawless prompt adherence and constraint handling. A fully functional, interactable game generated in a single pass. This level of instruction following and code generation is wild, right? And you can see an example of what that looks like right here. So you can basically like one-shot games on the front end, that sort of thing. You can see how it performs in terms of numbers. So if we look at the different versions of GPT, on the scale is off the charts, isn't it? It's ridiculous compared to other people. Let's keep going through now, see what we got. Sam Altman is tweeting about it as well. So he said, when you get access to GPT-5, try a message like use Beatbot to make a sick beat to celebrate GPT-5, and then you've got like this SaaS tool that's just been created. You can see how quick it is. He created that in literally 6 seconds, which is absolutely wild, and the UI is pretty nice as well. So it can like create games and SaaS and that sort of thing on the front end too, which is pretty exciting. And this literally just came out, I think they literally just did a live stream like 2 hours ago as I'm making this video, right? You can see here, yeah, the announcement just came out 1 hour ago. This is brand new. This is fresh off the press. And most of the world has not even seen this yet. So if you're watching this, you're probably in the top 1% of the world seeing the latest releases from AI. The other thing I was going to say is this has different models. So we've got GPT-5 Mini, etc. And GPT-5 is the strongest coding model to date. So you can see the differences in the charts right here. And this is the other thing as well. So they've got different personalities inside the chat. So you can, for example, use cynic, robot, listener, or nerd, and then you can customize those in your ChatGPT settings. You can also switch between like research, text only, opt-in, change anytime, blah blah blah, and you've got some examples right there, right? So that's what it's going to look like once you've got access. Now this is rolling out to everyone around the world. So again, I don't have access inside ChatGPT directly, but I do have access inside OpenRouter. All right, so if you want to get access directly, just go to OpenRouter if you don't have it already released inside ChatGPT. Here's another example. So this was just one single prompt, basically making it the strongest coding model ever when it comes to building stuff out. So we've got the jumping ball runner. I'm just going to mute that so it doesn't get too noisy. But yeah, it's built this game. This is actually playable as well. So it's been embedded directly on ChatGPT's website, and then you can build out one-shot games and that sort of thing, which is pretty cool. Pretty nice looking UI right there. That's the prompt that we use. We can actually test that right now. So if we take this prompt and then we go over to OpenRouter, let's just try what we got here, So we got Nano, Mini. Let's just try this one instead. So I'm going to go directly inside the chat here. You can see the price and that sort of thing. We can look at the specs as well in a sec. There's a lot to talk about here. Who we got watching, by the way? If you're watching this live, shout out to you. Thank you for watching. Let us know which countries are you watching from. Put a flag in the chat. I'll give you a shout out. So this looks like it's using the reasoning model. If we just go straight into ChatGPT, we didn't ask it to, but I think it will automatically choose between the different reasoning models. And then we can come back to that in a second, right? So I've used exactly the same prompt from the website for the game, and we'll see if it actually does one-shot it perfectly like we've seen today. In a minute as well, later on in this video, we can compare it against different models, see how it goes as well. We've got someone from Algeria, I know it, Norway, shout out to you. So creative expression and writing. GPT-5 is our most capable writing collaborator yet, able to help you steer and translate rough ideas into compelling, resonant writing with literary depth, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what else we got here. So I'm really interested about this. Like, why are they talking about health so much? I know they did have a specific model for health. I didn't think that would be integrated with GPT-5 so much. But this is interesting. Compared to previous models, it acts more like an active thought partner, proactively flagging potential concerns and asking questions to give more answers, blah, blah, blah. I wonder if, for example, some people going to the GP and that sort of thing, whether they're just going to turn to ChatGPT for the health-related stuff. This is interesting, right? So, for example, it's comparing GPT-4o versus GPT-5 to write a short poem, and then you can compare the outputs, right? So you got GPT-4o over here, and you got the outputs of GPT-5's poem over here. This is a lot more poetic than this one, right? It's still using those crazy M dashes though. Those haven't gone for some reason. The M dashes are here to stay, maybe even in GPT-40. All right, that's creating the code now. It's coding it out. It's taking a little while, but we'll come back to that in a second. Ahmad says, maths is 100% insane for me. We got Conroy from United States. We got some legends from Norway. Plenty of people from Norway here. All right, so let's keep going down. Yeah, it's a lot more advanced, isn't it, in the responses it's given for poetry as well. If you just smash it out loads of poems on GPT-5, maybe you aren't. And then we've got the evaluations here, right? So GPT-5 is much smarter across the board. So for maths, 94%, SWE, 74%, 88% on ADA, Polyglot, blah, blah, blah. And let's compare them now. So you've got all the different modes. GPT-5 Pro, that's interesting. I've not seen that model yet. And then if you compare it, O3 was pretty good to be fair, but it was super slow. But if we compare this, GPT-5 is absolutely crushing it, is absolutely destroying it, right? So this is without thinking, and this is with thinking, if that makes sense. So you got reasoning versus non-reasoning for competition maths. And if we have a look here, look at that, GPT-4o is all the way down there at 42% versus GPT-5, absolutely crushing it on maths. Let's see, Frontier Math, compare the benchmarks. It's absolutely destroying other models. Harvard Maths Tournament, PhD level science questions. Yeah, so just across the board, GPT-5 is crushing O3 and crushing O4 as well. Let's see, we should have this code back now by now, surely. Yeah, we got the HTML back. Let's test if that actually works. There's only one way. We can talk about it all day or we can test it, my friends. And I'm a man of action. So let's take this HTML. We'll grab that. We'll go over to Live Weave and we'll have a cheeky gander. So here we go. This is a one-shot game. Let's see if it actually works. It doesn't work. Look at that. I'm clicking play. It didn't work. Let's just try it on something else just to make sure we haven't got this wrong. What I can do is just go over to something like Claude and say, preview this code. And it will just turn it into an artifact that we can play. But there, it didn't work. What are we doing here? I'm testing the same prompts I've got on the website. It didn't seem to work there. Maybe we need to test it on, let's see what we got here. That is the most powerful model, right? And the most expensive by a long way. It's 5 times more expensive than the mini version. There you go. We've tested it live. Like great coding as expected. So let's have a look here. Instruction following and agentic use. GPT-5 shows significant gains in benchmarks, blah, blah, blah. Agentic searching and browsing. I do think that's going to be a big part of it, right? But if we actually have a look here, it's 54%, which is not bad, but I don't know if that's going to be good enough for using this day to day. What else we got here? Multimodal reasoning. health. If it can't code out a HTML game, even maybe I wouldn't use it for my health. Let's see what else we got here. Faster, more efficient thinking. If you're wondering how to access all this and you just want all the links, etc., feel free to join the AI Profit Boardroom. All the links are inside the SPs. Just go down to GPT-5, which is right at the top for you there to make it easy. Link in the comments description to that. What other questions we got? We got people from France, Luxembourg, Italy. Shout out to you, legends. How can we use this for SEO? I'll come on to that in a minute. The other thing I've noticed is I've not really seen much about image generation, so I don't think this has a new image generation model. I think it'll be using the previous one. More benchmarks here for safety, and there we go. All right, and it says on the how to use section, it says GPT-5 is a new default in ChatGPT. Paid users can still select GPT thinking, but if we go over to ChatGPT, it's not there. So it must be rolling out later. It was only announced like an hour ago. Yeah, so it's starting to roll out to all Plus, Pro, Team, and free users with access to for Enterprise and Edu coming in the next week. All right. I've been saying on my YouTube channel for quite a while, it's going to be free. People are saying, no, it's not going to be free. It is free. I'm not one of those guys who says like, I told you. So I'm not going to say that, but yeah. You can see here, you can get access for free. The difference is the usage volume, right? So for example, Pro users get unlimited access to GPT-5 and GPT-5 Pro will be interested to see how that performs. Plus can use it comfortably as a default model, and then free users will be on like a limited tier, right? So this is all the stuff about GPT-5 coder, some cool stuff there. All right, so let's have a look. Has Claude previewed it here? So we've got it here. Let's test it out again, and look, it doesn't work when I preview it on Claude either. So this is interesting, right? I bet if I use that exact same prompt inside Claude Opus, it's actually going to work. So let's test that out, right? If we go over here, let's grab this prompt like so. We'll go over to Claude, run a new chat here. We're going to select Opus 4.1, and we'll just see, okay, can Opus 4.1 outperform GPT-5 with exactly the same prompt that OpenAI actually used on their website? That would be interesting to test, right? So let's see how it goes, and we'll see which one is the best for coding. Now, in the meantime, you might be wondering, okay, like what's the best way to use this for SEO? Someone asked me before, because it's better at coding and that sort of thing. So let's test this out, right? What we're going to do here is I'm going to use one of my favorite content prompts. It's inside the AI Profit Boardroom if you want to steal this from me. We've actually got a bunch of AI SEO automations inside there. So if you go to the AI SEO automation section inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description, you can get access to all of my best automations like you can see right here for AI SEO. So what we're going to do over here is we shall go to ChatGPT. We'll just use a basic model. So the chat, go inside the chat here, and we'll test this out. Now, also you can select app inside the chat here. So if you want to get the canvas preview, you can select app. We'll do that in a second to test out. But in the meantime, what we want to do is just create an article about a keyword. So let's say, for example, just totally random keyword. We'll plug this in. This has got all the information about me, etc., who I am. It's very contextual, and we'll use that to generate the content, and we'll see how it performs as well. All right, so it's planning out the content right there. Now it's writing it, and we'll compare that side by side versus Claude Sonet in a second. That's still coding out the game, so we can't compare the outputs before. And Bearmouse says, Julian, when do you think Google will respond to the GPT-5 threat with Gemini 3.0? I think Gemini 3.0 is coming very soon. I think that's going to come out. Usually what they do is they just release like as soon as everyone else does. Same with Claude. I think Claude proactively released Opus 4.1 because they knew GPT-5 was coming out this week. Yeah, I think this is something is coming very soon. Vamsi says, how do I access GPT-5? I'm not able to access it on the web. It just goes to OpenRouter if you want to get access. Otherwise, it'll be released later today to everyone, I think. So it's just rolling out, right? Rolling out slowly. Some people get access sooner than others. All right, so this is the output from Claude Opus. To be fair, even like the already looks better than GPT-5's output, which is pretty interesting. You can see here, we've got the output. Let's see if it actually works. Yes, it does. So how interesting is that, right? We use exactly the same prompt from GPT-5's website. GPT-5 struggles to code it out, whereas Opus 4.1 did it out perfectly and created a really nice game out of it. If you're going to pick one model for coding, as it stands, there's only one that gives me a working output. So that's really interesting. Let's see what else we got here. So we got the content back from here as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compare this output using Claude for Sonet as well, because that's probably the most sentient that I've seen so far for writing content, if that makes sense. So if we go over to Claude Sonet 4 here, we'll plug in exactly the same prompt, and then we'll compare the SEO content side by side, and we'll just see which one performs the best, which one creates the best outputs. That's the only fair way to do it. And we're using GPT-5 chat here to create this. And we'll see which one just feels the most human. Ramsey says, thanks for replying. Great work. Been following you for months. Appreciate it too. Happy to help, mate. And Claude is just absolutely smashing it, to be honest. Do you know what would be interesting as well? Is we take the same prompt, because I'm interested now. You've got me interested, all right? So we're going to plug in the same prompt inside Gemini 2.5 Pro. We'll select the canvas, just create it directly in here. And we'll see whether Gemini 2.5 Pro can create a better output than GPT-5, all right? So we're going to go inside the chats here. We shall take exactly the same prompts for the jumping ball game that OpenAI recommend. Let's take that. We'll plug it into Gemini 2.5 Pro, plug that in, and we'll just see whether that can create a working output as well. In the meantime, we've got the content back from Claude for Sonet, and we'll compare which one create the best content. All right. If we actually have a look at the prompt that we gave here, this is interesting because, for example, if we have a look here, the keyword was SEO training in China. And if we have a look on the outputs, let's have a look first of all at the title. The ultimate guide to dominating Chinese search markets versus SEO training in China, how to rank, win, and dominate. I would say GPT-5's title is nicer. Let's have a look at the intro. You're in China, you've heard SEO can work. You spent money on ads, burned cash on agencies, still no long-term results. Sound familiar? SEO in China is different. The rules change. Let's have a look at this content. SEO training is not just another digital marketing course. It's your ticket to cracking one of the world's most lucrative, blah, blah, blah. I still prefer the content from here, right, from Claude. It just feels a lot more sentient. It does use a keyword as well inside the introduction, which is going to help it rank better. Basic stuff, but that's going to help it rank better with SEO. Whereas if we look at this introduction, it doesn't really mention SEO training in China until quite a few lines in, which is going to make it harder for search engines to rank it, to be honest with you. So this is the title of the second part of the content. So why SEO training in China matters more than ever. Now, we all know, we've all seen this AI fluff word right from the beginning, right from ChatGPT 3, and it's still there today. So honestly, I prefer the writing from Claude. I think it feels more sentient, it feels more natural, it's nicer to read, it's better optimized for search engines. I'm going to take the content from Claude, honestly, over GPT-5, which is a shame. I was really excited for GPT-5. Now let's see how Gemini got on. If we go over to Gemini, yeah, to be fair, Gemini struggled with that. So we've got an error straight in there. So if we're putting them in the rankings, I would say Claude Opus 4.1, number one. Then you've got GPT-5. Then you've got Gemini 2.5 Pro in this specific competition. Some people are asking, like, what do I think of generative optimization? I'm not going to go into that because it's a little bit off topic for today. But if you want to learn about that stuff, just check out the SEO Elite Circle. SEO Elite Circle is a place to be. We've got a very active community that talks about SEO every single day. We've actually got trainings on AI SEO, loads of cool stuff in here. So make sure you join that if you want to learn more about SEO and actually get weekly coaching on that too. All right, so I want to try Sam Altman's other prompt. Let's pull this. It's in LM Arena as well, and it is number one on the score there, which is interesting. It's apparently beating Claude Opus 4, which is interesting because I don't think it's winning at the minute, right? But I give you the real tests. Nobody's showing you this stuff, right? We're just testing real stuff live to see what actually works and what doesn't. So let's keep going now. If we go over to X and let's take the prompt from Sam Altman. So use Beatbot to make a sick beat to celebrate GPT-5. All right, so we're going to take that one. And what we're doing now is inside OpenRouter, we can compare them both, right? So we're going to take Opus 4.1, we're going to take GPT-5, we're going to make sure we use app, so create an HTML app, and then let's hit enter on that and see what we get back from both of them, right? So it's creating the artifact on both. We can see which one comes back to us the fastest, which one gives us the best outputs, etc. Very easy to compare them side by side. I keep refreshing my ChatGPT just to see if we've got it through, but it's not coming through. Might take a while, that. This is interesting. It's actually available for free inside Cursor AI. No way. All right, let's check it out. Let's see, is that actually GPT-5 is available with free credits for paying users during launch week. All right, we can test that out in a sec. I'm going to sign up to Cursor AI just to show you how it performs. All right, so we've got Cursor open over here. It's been a while since I used it, to be fair. And we've got GPT-5 down there, and we can use GPT-5 inside the text there. So that's another way to code with it. I actually don't think I'm on a paid plan here, but I can still access GPT-5. And then we can switch between agent, ask, and edit. So this is really good for coding out. We'll come back to that in a second. In the meantime, we have the artifacts back. Look at this as well. So this is interesting. GPT-5 is still coding out, whereas Opus 4.1 has finished already. Let's open up the artifact. We can preview this. We've got that back. Boom shakalaka. Look at that. That's looking good. That is looking good, my friend. All right. I'm going to unmute this. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's incredible. We got big beats. We got big beats. Opus loves to celebrate the launch of GPT-5. Now, where's GPT-5 gone? There we go. All right, let's open this artifact. So this is still coding out, right? You can see the 3 dots are buffering right there. So that might take a little while. So if you want to get access to Cursor for free, from what I can see, you can just code with it directly inside here. I'm not on the paid plan as far as I know. Yeah, I'm not on the pro plan. I'm on a free plan. So if you want to get free access to GPT-5 right now, you can just go to Cursor. We actually have training on how to use Cursor inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Just type in Cursor in the search bar and you can get access to it. If you want to learn how to use this stuff and where to access it and download it, etc. But yeah, you can see we've got GPT-5 down here. We can switch between GPT-5 and GPT-5 Fast. We can use it for free as far as I'm aware. Let's see if we can do the same thing. So if we go inside the chat room, look at that, 5 is still coding out. We might have to rerun the prompt, but let's take this and that's generating the output here. And then, all right, so that's pretty cool. So there you go, problem solved. You can get access to it with Cursor inside here, as you can see. Now it looks like it's stuck inside the search on OpenRouter. So I'm just going to X off Opus. We'll try this again, run the app, enter, and then we'll go from there. But as far as I'm aware, like Opus is still outperforming it on pretty much everything. Like for speed, for the outputs, we had to rerun the prompts for GPT-5. I mean, for content creation, Claude Sonet won there quite clearly. But if you want to use it for free right now and you don't have access inside ChatGPT, just go to Cursor and then you can use GPT-5 directly inside here. And it's pretty fast inside here, which is cool. The other thing that I'm noticing is Cursor is a lot faster than Visual Studio Code. Usually Visual Studio Code, if I was live streaming, would slow down my whole laptop, whereas Cursor seems to do better. Let's test some more stuff now. So if we go over to Plus 4.1, let's take something basic like a hyper dopamine pong game. We'll go over to ChatGPT. GPT-5 and we'll use it here. And again, we'll switch between Opus and we'll compare the outputs, right? So let's run that in the meantime. This is rinsing credits, but that's the price I will pay for you, my friends. That's the sacrifice. It's finished coding this out. Let's have a look. That's pretty cool, to be fair. Wow, that was loud. That was loud. To be fair, that's a lot more complex than this one. If we go to here, this is the output from Opus. This is the output from GPT-5. I would say that's way more complex. We'll stop that. But yeah, that's pretty cool, to be fair. I would say that GPT-5 won on this round. Even though we had to get it to do it twice, the outputs are really cool there. And we can switch between like humanize, swing, BPM. We can mutate the beat. Like you can see, we've got all these different options here. That is a superior output to Claude Opus, which the UI looks cool, but it's not as good as that. And now you can see we're getting the HTML back. Oh yeah, we're getting this GPT-5 party started, my friends. Incredible, incredible. Let's take the beat down. Yeah. I would say it's pretty good, to be fair. It looks like you get better outputs with OpenRouter directly when we test out the artifact. Like that's a lot more complex. But if you want to create something fun, interesting, and you want to use it for free, then just go inside Cursor and just code right there, right? And if you need some help on that, join the AI Profit Boardroom. So that is it so far. Yeah, if you're wondering when ChatGPT is going to be released to everyone inside the app, that'll come out, I would say, later today, so give it 24 hours. The API is available. I've tested it today. We've tested all of the different things we can do with it, how we can build it out. Honestly, for content creation, I would still stick to Claude. For coding, Opus 4.1 is definitely on the same level. And there's been certain tasks that GPT can't do that Opus 4.1 can. So I don't think that GPT is the best thing. Honestly, you're going to get similar or better outputs with Opus anyway. We've got trainings on both, so if you want to learn how to use Opus 4.1, we've got trainings inside that Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description. Otherwise, you can go over to inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well. We also do 5 coaching calls a week, so you can jump on Q&A. We have 10 masterclasses here. On Fridays, we do a learning masterclass and weekly Q&A as well. We also have a PhD scientist who specializes in AI, Dr. Jeff. So if you want to learn more about AI, this is the best place to do it. Inside the classroom, you have all these different courses. These are all the stuff that we use to grow our business. So you can see here, for example, we've got a course for agencies if you want to get more clients. We've got all the automations that I use for email content, social media, and video automations. If you just want to learn AI automation from scratch, we have a 6-week masterclass with actionable homework each week to just level up and make sure you make progress. And then if you want to learn how to create a YouTube AI channel, then we have a 6-week roadmap right here that shows you exactly how I did it, plus a bunch of cool AI SEO automations. Plus, inside the community here, we just share our wins, we learn, we grow together. We have a great time doing it. We have a great success, like Borat likes to say, as you can see right here. And it's a very active community, right? Where we're just sharing, winning, learning, growing together, and we're just constantly updating and improving things as well. So feel free to join that link in the comments description. We're currently, see how many members we're at. We're at 1,182 members right now as I'm speaking. The price does go up at 1,200 members. So make sure you sign up now before you miss out. Otherwise, you're going to pay more later. So make sure you sign up now. Link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next one, my friends.